What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Universal Bros Unplugged podcast, where we talk about everything Universal. Today's episode 21. We're getting up there, man. This episode is about Van Helsing, being that it is a Universal movie, and I mean, it doesn't get much more spookier than that.
No, yeah.
As we officially enter the true spooky season.
Indeed.
We are continuing our HHN series.
Right, where we talk anything and everything horror universal.
Exactly. So, Van Helsing, I mean, it matches, dude. It is the Universal monsters.
No, of
within
course.
it.
Yeah.
It's got its own way of doing it. I personally like the film. That being said, let's get into the intro.
And we're back.
Alrighty. So, let's get into City Walk talk. What's going on in City Walk? So, we're not talking about City Walk. This is just going to be a news portion of the episode.
Yes.
Although normally in City Walk I do give the news, but this is obviously, I think it's pretty clear what we're going to talk about.
I think
it's about Epic, something that happened at Epic.
Yeah.
Well, part of it happened
Right.
at Epic.
Right.
But a man has passed away from injuries he got on Stardust Racers.
Yes.
Now, one might see that out of context and freak out and worry that, was the ride too rough? Is it going too fast? And we're here to kind of just ease the pressure and give context before people start posting and you believe what the media wants to feed you, which is a whole bunch of clickbait to get views. So, with context, the 32-year-old man, we're not going to say any names because it's none of
out of
our
respect,
business.
of course, yeah.
But it is unfortunate. It's sad to see. But what needs to be said is, I definitely don't want dirt to be thrown on Universal's name
No, absolutely.
over this accident because it's exactly what it was.
It was ruled by the actual medical
Correct.
examiner as an accident.
So what had happened was this 32-year-old gentleman went on the ride, and he, due to previous condition, had what people are saying was a possible heart attack and became unresponsive. His body went limp, and he banged his head all on the ride. I mean, it is what it is. If you go completely limp like that on a ride, you're going to, at the very least, get a concussion.
Right.
So, adding to that, what the media isn't exactly adding to the titles that are getting all this traction and everyone's just reading the title and that's it.
They're not saying the full story.
With context, this gentleman was in a wheelchair. He was, he was paralyzed. He had previous spinal injuries.
Right.
And he was on certain medication, which affected him on the ride.
It was his blood pressure that it would affect.
Yes. He kind of passed out. Having spinal injuries and being in a wheelchair, not being able to properly use his legs and hold himself upright, I'm assuming, that played a big part in, what they're saying was blunt trauma.
Right.
Blunt force, injuries. And, he was then taken off the ride, given CPR, where then, paramedics from the Orange County sheriffs and medical ambulance came, took him to the hospital, and he was pronounced dead at 10:05.
Right.
It's sad to talk about.
No,
It's really quite unfortunate. But people need to look into context before they just jump to conclusions that the ride's unsafe and that, just because the park just opened, that, the rides are tested 100%. And for people who are going, because I've seen a couple posts where people are saying like, oh, well, I had a concussion when I came off this ride. People start talking because they want relevancy and they want attention. But it's kind of ridiculous because if we're going to go ahead and blame the roller coaster, Stardust Racers does not go as fast as Velocicoaster. Velocicoaster has been around for years, okay? And it goes 70 miles per hour.
Actually, 70-something.
No, 70 miles per hour.
Really, at its
Correct.
peak speed.
70. That's the max it goes. Stardust only goes 62 miles per hour, okay? And just like its cousin ride, I mean, it comes from Dueling Dragons.
Right.
Nothing's ever happened to Dueling Dragons.
Other than one guest was hit with an object that came off of the other side of the track.
Correct,
but then that is the only incident that has ever happened during Dueling Dragons.
I'm talking about like someone's getting hurt from the ride's movement. That was a
Which
lack
is why Dueling
of
Dragons was then sent separately at different times.
Exactly. It's got nothing to do with the ride, man. It's there's Universal and all the companies that engineer these roller coasters make sure that it is 100% safe all the time. You know what I mean? And we've stressed that enough in prior episodes. We've gone into detail explaining how thorough they are with their want to be 100%, like up to code and wanting to keep all their guests safe.
Well, here's the thing: there is a national standard for safety.
Well,
in order to open
that,
attractions.
Right, 100%.
But not only
they meet all
that,
that, but they go the extra mile. There's signs everywhere right before you ride and it explains to you you're at your own risk. These are the people who are at risk. You can hop on, but it's at your own risk. So
right. The main thing that I want to say about all this is that this is just sad from both sides.
Yeah.
This is sad for Universal in a sense, and this is sad for obviously the family of the gentleman that passed.
Right.
This could have been completely preventable because, once again, please take into consideration your health prior to putting yourself in a position to possibly get hurt.
Yeah.
Ultimately, this is a theme park with intense rides.
Yeah.
As almost any theme park. I think people are a little too, I don't want to use the word careless, but they don't take into consideration certain things.
Yeah. Yeah. People just, I want to ride the ride. I don't care. And then you have results like this where you're, it's at your own risk. But I just don't like the media part where people start dragging.
No, of course. Well,
they try to drag Universal through the dirt.
Right. And I do want to say this on Universal's behalf. One, the access that EMS had to the park was stellar because they got there in around 5 minutes time.
Yeah. And it's actually just been released that it wasn't, they weren't called. It was someone, the person who called did not state that it was an emergency.
Right.
So it's like they just said, hey, we need medical here. You know what I mean?
Right, because at the time of the ride ending, the gentleman appeared to be simply passed out.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Which, I mean, all respect to Orange County, EMS.
On top. On top of it.
Absolutely. And since the incident occurred and the man was announced dead by a medical examiner, and it was announced to be an accident, the probe that Universal has begun investigating the ride has been extensive.
Right.
Not only is it shut down, it's being completely looked at all over, even though the official report is that the ride itself does not put guests in danger who are not already with pre-existing conditions that put you in a position to get hurt by the ride.
Right.
There is a reason that the signs exist. There's a reason why they have the pre-shows where they explain the safety portion.
Right.
There are reasons for all of this, so that this kind of thing is prevented.
Or at least
There is
you
some
know the risk.
responsibility on your end as a park goer to understand your limitations.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Of course, I understand in a perfect world, everyone can ride every single ride.
Yeah.
But the truth is that that's not the truth.
Yeah.
That's not the reality that we live in. At some point, when are we going to take the spotlight off of Universal? And I understand it seems, and this may come across to some folks as though we're defending Universal and, just because we're fans. No, I hold Universal to the same standard I would anyone else. I want to be safe and have fun, right? But that's a shared responsibility.
Yeah.
They take care of things on their end to make sure that I'm safe. And I also make the appropriate
Do your
decisions for
part.
me to make sure that I don't put myself in a position
Yeah.
to get hurt.
Yeah. I mean, for like a good example is like when you start to get headaches. If any of us start to get headaches,
which has happened to me.
Yeah.
So what I did was I need to take it easy.
Exactly. That's it. And you just
You know what I mean?
Don't put yourself on that ride. Don't make it worse. Don't give yourself a chance of having an aneurysm. You know what I mean?
Or any sort of injury
Correct.
or negative
Yeah.
affliction
There's no need.
to my well-being. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the main takeaway, that this is a complete tragedy, and it's terrible from both sides.
Yeah. Anyways, just gonna wrap up City Walk Talk.
Yes.
Let's although I mean it is raining outside. Let's take the cloud, the dark cloud out of here.
All right.
All right. So let's talk about Van Helsing.
Yes.
You recently watched the movie.
Yes,
'Cause
I
I
did.
told you to watch it
In its entirety.
And so we're gonna start it off with you giving your honest opinion on what you thought on the film, just the film itself. Let's dive into that. You give yours, I'll give mine, and then after
Absolutely.
that, we'll dive into our little niche, what we would change, what we would keep,
Okay.
and yeah, and then I don't know. We'll go from there. What we want to see in the future, some things, what would be cool. So.
Right.
Your honest take on the movie, okay? Think about you just finished the movie. What is your honest opinion of it?
So there's a lot of it that I really, really liked.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm a huge fan of the Universal monsters, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, this movie came out in the early 2000s, and so I was younger. Our mother's a huge fan
Yeah.
of the film because she's a huge fan of Kate Beckinsale,
Yeah.
who is the main female lead in that film. And obviously, I had not realized up until recently that Hugh Jackman's in it.
Yeah. I
Because-
told you about that, yeah.
Right, because I only know Hugh Jackman from Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I grew up with the 20th Century Fox
Right.
X-Men series.
Mm-hmm.
So I like a lot of things about the story. I like the time in which it takes place because it's sort of in that era of what the original Universal monsters existed.
Yeah.
I like that they try to incorporate a lot
Mm-hmm.
and kind of make every monster fit in with the story.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this: a lot of the effects for the time that the movie came out, not that bad.
2004.
Not that bad. There's a significant portion of CGI in it.
CGI is actually pretty good.
It's
Really,
pretty
really
good.
good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love the amount of references, and obviously, I don't want to say reimagining of certain things that are part of the monster universe, but like for example, beginning of the film with the burning blade.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Mhm,
You know what I mean? That's
mhm.
super cool. And obviously,
Yeah.
we're watching that portion of the film in black and white.
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
To really represent how old.
Right. No. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Van Helsing is super cool.
Yeah.
I love the whole look.
Mm-hmm.
I like kind of the backstory they gave him
Yeah. Yeah.
and his involvement with the church and everything. That's
in,
why.
In the beginning, they show you like a brief.
Right.
Toward the end of the movies, when you hear the truth, like who he really
Right.
is, and
Right.
yeah,
I like that whole portion. Him hunting down monsters.
yeah,
It's
Mhm.
a great concept. I think the acting is really, really good.
yeah. Actually,
And even though, so I do want to say this. As much as I don't like aesthetically this interpretation of Dracula. I enjoy the more traditional version.
Mm.
I thought the acting was really, really good.
Yeah.
I thought the acting was really, it was on point.
Mm-hmm.
And I love their whole version of the Wolfman. So then the whole shedding of like transforming in and out of it.
Well, he's werewolf in this one. He's not a wolfman. Wolfman's different. The Wolfman is different because he's wolf and man together. Versus in this one, he's a werewolf. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a difference.
It's a little so me
Still a werewolf. Werewolves are still a legacy monster. It's still a universal
yeah.
monster.
Yeah.
And so is the Wolfman.
right.
They are separate though.
Right.
So
I like the transition scenes of the transformation
great.
process.
The ripping where he rips his skin off.
Yeah,
on
I
both
really
parts.
I also like the fact of like their version. So it is a little bit high tech for that era. Like some of the things that they use and that Van Helsing has. Like he basically has like a rifle that shoots. It's a crossbow,
He has a crossbow,
but it's
an automatic crossbow.
Yeah, an automatic crossbow, which is
Yeah.
like,
But
I know it's a little bit out there when it comes to fantasy because then you have Frankenstein that's like all electricity.
right, but it's also
I
like
get it.
you also have to think like this is a part of the world that it's like when you talk about like Harry Potter, for example.
Right.
Like that doesn't make sense that they can transform into animals and stuff. Oh, that's unrealistic. But in the
I
Muggle
know.
world, it's different. They don't know anything about that. They don't know
Right.
that exists.
No, I know.
You know what I mean? Same thing. Like when they go into when Van Helsing goes into the town, you know what I mean? They're coming at him with pitchforks, sickles,
Right. I understand that.
blades.
Yeah.
They don't know of this technology, so they're seeing him with this technology. Like, what is that? What even is that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
No,
That's
I
why.
I liked it. I think the casting's fantastic.
Yeah.
Everyone looks super cool.
Yeah. And I think they really nailed it with. Well, when I get into it, so keep going.
So, I love the casting. I think that everyone. I mean, it's all huge names, right? Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah.
It's. I love. We have a little bit of comedic relief. It's not too much.
Yeah.
With the friar.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have the princess. She's trying to save her brother who was attacked, and he is now werewolf. Dracula and his wives. I understand that this story is non-traditional, right? It's trying to encompass a lot at once and make a storyline based on that. My main gripe is that she dies at the end. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, that's unfortunate. But I guess that's his fate, is to just kind of do that.
That's their fate. Hers too.
Right.
And she explains in the beginning of the movie, she's like, everyone in my family has died. It's pretty common.
Right.
So it's part of their.
I loved. It was a shame to see Dr. Frankenstein die, and his son, the monster, live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I thought ultimately it was really well made. The one thing, and I know I talked to you about this, when they're trying to exit Transylvania with the monster, because he's the key to all of it. The whole people that live in that town outside of Dracula's castle, they literally just pick people off to eat, and that's it. They don't mess with the town outside of that.
Yeah.
And they...
Well,
I understand.
Not just that town. It's overall.
What do you mean?
Well, it's overall.
Transylvania.
Yeah.
But I remember the funniest part of the movie to me, ironically, is when Dracula's like complaining. He's like, "What don't they understand that like we literally only take what we need in order to not starve?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And still, it's not enough for us. As if like complaining, like I'm being nice about it. Like I don't understand why you guys are making such a big deal and starting all this commotion. Just let me pick a couple people off every once in a while. You know?
That's not what he's explaining. He's kind of just saying like why, because don't forget one of his brides died.
Right.
So he feels it.
Yeah.
And he's just like explaining like he's like it's more him flexing his power. Like we could be doing so much more damage, but we're doing the bare minimum. You know what I mean? Like I could really just be eating as much as I want, and I'm not. You know what I mean? So it's like that's where it's the anger and the kind of the flex of power that he's showing. You know what I mean? Right. Showcasing that they're really not doing that much, but they could be. You know what I mean? And he's explaining. He's basically showing that he's angry. He's gonna start, and which is why they make the villagers be like, oh, like, this is wrong. And they're like, I just saved you. And they're like, no, they just come and they pick one or two people off. They feed when they need to. Now they're gonna do it out of revenge, out of spite. They're just gonna come and
which is like it's counterproductive.
Correct.
Now.
Correct. But
No, but I thought that whole scene when they're fighting off the brides in the town was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Shame what happens to the cow.
Oh yeah,
she picks up the cow and tosses it into a building. Poor cow.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean.
That's what it is.
Another thing I want to say: huge fan of Igor in that movie. Very funny, just the iconic henchman. Cares about nothing but his own skin.
Exactly.
He's like, well, guess I'll work for you now.
Mm-hmm.
I need to stay employed.
Yeah. No, more so he doesn't want to die.
And the look, right?
He's just very, very, very much like a coward.
Yeah, of course, like Benny from The Mummy.
Exactly. That's where I was going to go with that. Yeah.
I thought that the makeup is fantastic.
Yeah.
For Frankenstein, peak, even though he's non-traditional.
Right.
I thought it was really good.
It was more advanced, and rightfully so. They had to make him look more advanced because of the type of machine that they're trying to use for the concept that they needed for that to be a reality. Like it couldn't just be the old school wood table, latch on, bolts on the neck. Like this man right here.
Exactly.
It had to be a advanced wiring technology that then they can go and wire it up to the children.
Yeah. I think the only person I felt like Dracula looked a little plain, considering how grandiose he's supposed to be, and how he presents himself. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, he does. He shows when they go to the ball. That's when he goes all out.
Right, but like even though ironically Bram Stoker's Dracula is not traditional at all. There's the older version of him, like the true version.
Right.
And then you have the younger version of him, which is like decked out 3-piece Victorian suit and everything with the monocles and. I'm a big fan of that Dracula film.
Yeah.
Other than the original. But yeah, I thought in this one, I don't know, obviously very powerful, right? He's extremely strong. He's not an idiot.
Yeah.
I just thought maybe we could have done something different with his hair. It was kind of weird. It was like,
you think so?
He's a 40-year-old with a ponytail. Like it's a bit much.
Yeah, but that was normal in the Victorian era.
Right.
From the time that he's from, that was normal. Men didn't cut their hair short.
Right.
Men let it grow out.
Hugh Jackman's hair in that movie is. I wonder if it's a wig.
Yeah, probably.
Most likely. Peak. I just like his whole look. I love the hat. The hat is cool.
Well, yeah, he's
the overcoat. You know what I mean?
He's like a bounty hunter. Basically, what he is.
He's
a monster.
Basically,
bounty hunter.
My favorite fight, ironically, not him with Dracula. Or him fighting the wolf. Him fighting Mr. Hyde.
Yeah,
that one was super cool.
Yeah, I guess it was short.
Yeah,
but it was okay. I didn't think.
No, I liked it. I think that's a great introduction to him.
Yeah, he's just not a crazy character. You know what I mean?
I kind of feel like their interpretation in that film of him. I was left a little bit to want more.
Yeah.
I was honestly surprised when the movie finished, and I was like, I get this is once again from an era where they weren't planning on making sequels. They were just trying to tell a complete story in one go.
And another thing,
which is a rarity.
Back then, dude, I mean, it was 2004, and like you had mentioned to me after watching it that you felt like it was like they were trying to stuff a whole story into such a short time.
Yeah.
It's just that, dude, back then, like the idea of going over an hour 40 for a movie was
unheard of.
Right.
Until we started getting movies like The Dark Knight.
Yeah. Now movies go 2 hours plus.
Yeah, 2.5.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's nothing crazy nowadays.
No,
ironically,
that's like you could probably it's not odd to see that.
you can get away with 240.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Dude,
Yeah.
Avatar, Way Water.
Oof.
That was a long one.
Yeah.
Real long one. So, But yeah. Anything else on the movie?
I mean,
Of your
honestly,
personal thoughts?
I knew because I asked you at the beginning. You told me there's a whole bunch of the Universal monsters in it, and obviously the Invisible Man can't really fit. Same thing with like Creature of the
Right.
Black Lagoon.
Yeah, no.
They're not. It seems as though they went for a fantasy medieval
Right.
take on
They
it.
had to get medieval like monsters that are really doing bad.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think they did a really good job on picking who was going to be there. You
Right.
know what I mean?
No. I
I think it
completely
was pretty
understand.
legit.
I thought the whole concept of like them showing him walking to the Vatican and he's actually like that's technically like the hiring office. You know what I mean? Like and then all the crazy stuff happening underground,
Mm-hmm.
and then being like we have a deal. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That whole glimpse at that world was really really cool, and I was like, oh okay, so he's not just it's not just like The Witcher where he's just
Right.
going after stuff.
No, he's
You know what I mean, for money.
He's the
It's like-
hired gun, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
But in a holy sense.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that whole element to it, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And it's just cool, man. He just goes out guns blazing all the time, you know?
Yeah. Even it's a very much so a brute force, more
But he's not. Here's
shoot
the thing.
now,
He's
ask
not.
questions later.
He's not a dunce about it. You know what I mean? Everything's. He's locked in, methodical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's good in the moment fighting.
Methodical it's kind of a stretch.
I don't
He's
know.
Very
He outwitted Mr. Hyde.
yes, in that very moment, but it goes to show you how, like when he's fighting the brides the first time, and he's
Right.
just missing and messing up back and forth.
Right.
It goes to show that there's a little more of like
A learning curve.
I want to do. I want to get it done. I want to kill them.
Yeah.
Rather than what's the strategy here, and then that's but that's exactly why what's his name? I completely forgot his name. The Friar.
The Friar.
Friar.
I don't remember.
Is it Bill?
Maybe Philip or Phil.
I don't know, some name like that. I don't even remember. I've seen the movie a couple times. I still don't remember. But that's what he's there for, right?
Okay.
He's the brains,
Right.
and
He has all the cool little contraptions
exactly,
and knows what they do.
He's the brawn, I think it
Right.
works. I think it works
I will
really,
say
really well. I really like
the light grenade came in clutch at the
it.
ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like the foreshadowing of it when he introduces it. He's like, "What does it do?" Well, I don't know yet. Well, how are you going to create something if you don't know it works? He's like, "I never said that I don't know it works. I just don't know what it's for yet."
Interesting.
He knows it works. He just doesn't know how to put it to use.
The whole trapeze act, it was a bit much for me.
The what?
The whole trapeze act, when they go, they kind of infiltrate the ball where
Oh,
she's going
yeah.
to be, where they're supposed to make the handoff, right? One soul for another kind of deal.
Uh-huh.
And he like does like the flips in the air with the
Yeah,
rope and get
well.
the angles perfect of the swinging and everything. It's, but I understand this is first and foremost a fantasy film.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
that's what it is.
So, I thought Frankenstein, even though he talks a lot
Yeah.
for for the amount that he should be talking,
All right.
I liked it. I liked that he was kind of a poor tragic character and he kept himself
I
isolated.
mean, that's exactly what
to protect
he
the
is.
world.
Correct.
You know.
Yeah. It was more so, yeah, because he's and it's also
It's
like
just sad, bro. Like he
Yeah.
literally is given life.
he's he's
First
like
thing that
reading
happens
the
to him is
Bible.
he loses his father
Exactly.
in a
And-
legit like tragedy.
Yeah. And
I thought it was
then-
cool though when he yelled at the villagers and they were like, "It speaks."
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, of
that was cool.
course. They portrayed it very well, but they represented how people would really react.
Yeah.
Kind of like in Killer Clowns when they punch the guy's head off and everyone freaks out.
Right. It's all fun and games until it's not, and then that's when you get
Exactly.
those sort of guttural reactions out of people.
They're able to really show what would really people's reactions.
People would freak out.
Yeah. But yeah,
So what are your opinions on the film?
I love it. Remember, we had talked about
Right.
houses we'd bring to HHN.
Yes.
And I mentioned Van Helsing. Now
Okay.
that you've seen the movie,
Yes.
it would be sick.
I think it would be sick for them to bring it back. I don't remember what iteration or how they did the
Right.
one time they had a Van Helsing
I should have
house.
checked.
I think it would be really, really cool, but we should do it much more not so. Funny enough, when we're watching the film, do you know what this movie reminded me so much of?
What?
Legends Collide. When we went that year to HHN and you had in the Pharaoh's tomb, so it's Dracula, the Wolfman. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you.
Yeah.
If they did a house like that, and then you know how we were walking through and there's like cracks in the tomb where
Yeah.
the monsters would come out and
Yes.
stuff. That's what I was explaining, but instead of it being the Pharaoh's tomb, it's Dracula's castle.
I think that's a fantastic idea, but I would do it. It's everyone. Or, well, I mean, if we're going to stick based to the film, then it would be certain characters versus Van Helsing and the princess.
Right.
And
yeah.
it'd be, and then the...
Well, no, because again, you have to make it somewhat horror. I think it would have to be just the
Well, you're
werewolf.
witnessing the fight between them. I mean,
Exactly,
and you're
werewolf
caught
and
in the middle.
Dracula.
Well, we could...
And then
Yeah.
as you walk through, you see, again, like I.
Well, it doesn't mean
previously
that
explained.
Frankenstein can't, give you jump scares of like,
No, of
go
course
get
not.
out of here, kind of stuff.
Exactly. He can be
The
just
brides
a
have to be
jump,
around.
but pure. Yeah.
The
The brides, right? And that's what I was explaining. Like you could have both versions. Like sometimes they pop out and they're pretty.
right,
like in
and,
the
and
film.
they're in their human
brides,
human
exactly.
form, and then you have other parts
And
where
then
they're
others
in
where
their
transformed
actual
and they're trying to
beast. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It'd be absolutely insane. It'd be sick.
yeah.
And you're walking through, and then at the end of it is the final fight. You're walking past the final fight, and you're being, you can say, I don't know, Frankenstein's trying to, he's telling you move, like get through, and the princess too.
Of
They're
course,
trying
yeah.
to, and the frere, they're telling you to go,
Yeah.
as they fight right there.
No, I think it would be a really, really cool idea.
It'd be
Man,
sick.
I liked that house so much.
It was honestly pretty sick.
Yeah.
I didn't jump because I don't get jump scared that well. I think one
No,
did,
I
but
was
it was
just
because
amazed at like how cool it was.
yeah, I jumped because of how loud the speaker was,
Mm-hmm.
and that was for actually the werewolf.
Yeah.
It like because it was dark in the corner, and then
Yeah.
as I'm walking, I'm like, okay, this hasn't turned on, and then when it turned on, I looked, and the speakers were so loud that's what jumped. I was like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
it really caught me off guard. Not so much the werewolf. The werewolf was sick though. The costumes, the makeup were A1.
Everything was fantastic. The mummy looked
Yeah,
amazing.
Mummies. There were several mummies.
Dracula was like traditional Dracula. So
Exactly.
it was like very good, but
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
popping in.
They'd have the
Yeah.
cape and they'd open it. It's great.
But the Wolfman, like the shape was perfect because it had
Yeah.
like the arch in the back and everything.
Yeah, the big,
Yeah.
skinny bottom, like that Dorito body.
Yeah, shaped like Wolverine,
Exactly.
like a comic book Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very huge up top, very menacing.
I thought it was
Great.
cool. And funny enough about that house is that the ending would change every night.
Yeah.
So it would be different who wins the fight at the end.
Mhm,
It would be holding like the head of like the others.
Yeah, but this one would have to be Van Helsing winning.
Right.
The werewolf kills Dracula.
No, I think it would be super cool. The imagery alone, you know what I mean? All the props and the whole setup and the aesthetic of the inside the castle would just be super cool. You could start it off actually, because when they do it based off of films,
Frankenstein's
they kind
lair.
of tell the story from beginning to end
Yeah.
in the best way they can. It could start off with a bunch of villagers trying to
Yeah.
and then from there it goes on. I don't know how we could do the burning blade and everything, but maybe not that scene.
In a
but just-
warehouse, you can't do that.
Right. You could definitely have a lot of the electrical components that are inside the castle for the whole experimentation and everything.
Yeah, you could be walking through the eggs. There could be a part where a room where
Oh,
there's
of course,
the
yeah. Where the
nest,
Dracula's
yeah,
babies.
and
yeah.
the brides are there.
Yeah.
It'd be cool. It'd be super sick.
The werewolf popping in and out. You walk through like a foresty portion.
I wouldn't do that. I would do where like I explained, you're walking through a portion of the castle and there's a hallway,
Mm.
and it's like they kind of direct your view that way,
Yeah.
and then you see you wouldn't even have to get a cast member. You just put a screen there that's and it looks like the werewolf running by
Yeah.
at the end of the hallway. I think that would be sick.
Right, but I think that should be some sort of build up to in the as you progress through the maze.
Right.
There should be the werewolf should come out at you at some point.
Yeah, I guess.
Or it's like you witness an
Oh,
interaction
you could
between
do
him
it.
and
You
Van
could do it like he
Helsing.
comes out of the corner, and then Van Helsing comes out
Exactly.
and with the bullet tries to shoot him, and he runs away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could
Stuff
definitely
like
do that.
I think that would be really cool. You could also have all the minions that, pun intended,
Yeah.
that Dracula has. Those are basically his minions. He is the
Yeah.
Gru of that movie.
He is. Yeah. And then, pretty much.
Right. So the whole point of the story is that he's
Igor's the old man.
right.
Right. Yeah.
Cookie robots.
Yeah.
So the whole point of the story is that he needs Frankenstein in order to make the contraption work that will give longer lasting life to his children.
Like will forever, yeah.
Because he himself cannot procreate children that last longer than a certain amount of time. They don't live full lifespans.
Well, he needs the electrical shock to wake them up
Right.
because they're dead.
Right.
So he needs a power source that brings things to life, and that is Frankenstein. Without the creature, he's the key to the machine, he explains.
Right.
And so that's what they need. They need that because they do it with the werewolf. Remember, they live because it's a power source that's able to handle it, but it's not enough. It's not
Right.
enough juice.
Mhm.
And Frankenstein is the key. He is all the juice. He is the final step. All the electricity can flow straight through him and wake him up.
Yeah.
But the moment Dracula dies, the babies die too, which is how the movie
Right.
ends.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movie itself, I think I'm gonna be honest with you, casting A1.
Yeah.
The women, absolute bombshells. They did a very good job because rightfully so, Dracula's brides are supposed to be beautiful.
No, right. They're
what I
supposed
mean?
to be sort of peak human form.
Exactly.
Because that's how they choose to present themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's also how they feed, put men into a trance. They're able to persuade them, and then boom,
Which is part of the lore of vampires
Correct.
and everything.
Same thing with the princess. She's absolutely
No,
gorgeous.
I mean she looks like a princess. I mean
Yeah.
it's not false
Yeah.
advertising.
Just in that Victorian age, and she's now has to be super bad.
Yeah.
So she kills him, and she does a really good job. She does a good job not only being pretty, but like, I guess I can censor it. She's bad. I'll censor it.
No. Here's the thing I like about the film. Don't think that just because
She's pretty that she's not going to do
ridiculously
anything.
attractive.
Yeah.
that she is not going to put in the work
Yeah.
and can't, hold her own.
Yeah.
Quite the opposite.
Exactly.
Man, she has to go through some terrible things
Yeah.
and accomplish some feats that you're like, all right, well, I wouldn't mess with
Yeah.
her.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? She's not. She's 100. She's there. She's locked in. She's not dumb by any means.
Yeah.
She has a goal. She has a focus. Her objective. Don't get me wrong. She wants to complete and help. Van Helsing
Yeah.
kill Dracula, which is what Van Helsing is here for. You know what I mean? But first and foremost, everything and all the work she puts in is to save her brother from not having to,
but
come to that fate.
I also like that she's not completely delusional and illogical. Like, she at one point realizes, like, okay, Van Helsing's right. This is my brother. He needs to die.
Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
She comes to terms with it. She's not just, no, I have to save him. No, I have to save him. No, I don't care. It doesn't matter. She uses reason, So.
And ultimately, the success of the film is based on her kind of sacrificing herself and taking the shot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
No, not really.
What do you mean? So her death was in vain?
She doesn't. She saves Van Helsing. That's it.
Right, but
She saves him. She doesn't. Van Helsing
is
saves the
necessary.
whole thing.
He is necessary.
Who's necessary?
Van Helsing. She understood that.
Yeah. It's more so she wanted.
That's why he
to-
rides off into the sunset with the friar. He has to continue doing,
Well, yeah, no,
God's
of
work.
course. No, 100%. But that's not what I'm explaining. Like,
and that's thanks to her. Because if not, then he has to end
right?
there.
Like he'd be the werewolf. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. No, I know
Yeah.
that. But I mean, the one that saves the entirety of the people is Van Helsing.
Right, from Dracula.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but at the end of it, the whole scale of it,
Yeah.
securing the prophecy, if you want, it's because of her
What do you mean?
that Van Helsing has to continue killing monsters.
Yeah,
and
but that's not
stuff.
the prophecy.
No, I'm speaking
Van
separately
Helsing.
in the grander sense of what they spoke about at the Vatican, that he is destined to hunt monsters.
Yeah, he's the left hand of God.
Exactly. So, I mean, he would have not been able to continue doing good work.
Right, he would have been killed by
Exactly.
The Vatican.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Well, she kind of saved his life.
She did it because she was in love with him. That's why.
Well, I'd like to think that we make good decisions, besides the fact that we, are in love with Hugh Jackman. You know what I mean?
Well,
Shout out to Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
say what you want, man.
No,
That is one attractive man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is the greatest show.
It is what it is. Yeah.
That's a Greatest Showman reference. Yeah.
Actually, I've never seen that one.
Me neither.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I just know because that's the song
Oh, okay.
that plays. I only know Wolverine.
Technically, Wolverine X-Men is Universal too. Technically.
Right. Right.
Still.
Even though now, post Logan,
Yeah.
it is, Disney. It's no longer 20th Century Fox. Deadpool is a Disney princess.
No, it's not. No, he's not.
No, he's
It's
part of the
still
MCU.
Fox. It's still Fox.
Deadpool's part of the MCU.
Yeah, he's part of the MCU, but
That makes him
Marvel
a
is
Disney character.
Marvel's also part of Universal still.
Or comic book. Different.
Huh.
Different licensing.
Still Wolverine.
Right. Right. Comic book Wolverine. 1997 Wolverine.
Yeah.
Is Universal.
But they use comic book Wolverine in Deadpool vs. Wolverine.
Yes. Yes.
So, if so facto,
Yeah.
both Disney and Universal.
Right.
So, yeah, the movie was great. Casting was A1. I think the plot, I really like the plot. I do think that they did really pack a full story into such a short time due to back in the day. I mean, it came out in 2004. That wasn't a norm for that time for it to be a super long film.
It has it has a really good rating too.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah,
you got a full story in a short period of time.
Yeah.
Without having there to be a second part. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
I think everything's really good. I like we had talked about. You understand why they were taking him out of Transylvania.
Yeah, I understand now. They were gonna go and make an attempt to secure him,
Right, just to hide him and then go
location,
kill him.
right, to make sure that completely puts completely stops the gears flowing for Dracula's plan, and that gives them the space and the time to attack him accordingly.
Yeah.
But it didn't pan out like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Because my initial complaint to you, I was just like, because I thought that they were just leaving and taking Frankenstein and just hiding him forever, and just letting Dracula, whatever.
No.
And I was like, he's still gonna keep eating the people in the town.
No,
do you
right,
not
right,
care
right.
about the people in the town?
No, they just need to just hide.
No, but then I understand that that was part of the plan, part of it.
Well, yeah. Well, that's because Dracula finds out that that Van Helsing found him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Thus, the trade that never occurs.
Yeah. Technically, it does.
Right.
On technical terms.
Yes.
Not how it was described it was going to happen, but I mean, at the end of the day, the trade happened,
Right.
whether you liked it
No,
or
no,
not.
no, yeah. No.
I do like, I like the fact that Van Helsing's like, I don't want to kill the creature.
Right.
It's not fair to him.
Right. Because he's not evil.
Right. But
He is
he's
innocent.
not- yeah. That was your phone that went off, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's innocent, but he's not. What was it they said? He's not human.
Right. No,
Yeah.
no. The church wanted him dead
That's what I'm saying because
because
he's
he's
not
not
human.
human. But Van Helsing said, "I can." He's
Yeah,
not. He's innocent.
yeah.
He is not. There's not an ounce
He
of
knows
evil in him.
he was made of evil, but does not know evil.
Right.
Yeah,
Which, dude, honestly,
respect.
the saddest
Yeah,
backstory
yeah.
goes to Frankenstein's monster.
I mean, yeah, dude.
The poor guy.
The creature. I mean, yeah, he didn't ask to be created, and he's
No, not just that, but it's just like
pure. You know what I mean?
wakes up, loses his dad, lives in isolation.
Yeah.
All he has to read is the Bible.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? It's just like, man, this guy can't win.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when you see the transformation of Van Helsing, where he starts to slowly turn himself.
Yeah.
Here he goes a friar. He's like, "What'd you tell him about me?" You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in turn, he was supposed to die,
Right.
which is insane.
Right. I also like that once Van Helsing was, you could see the curse of the werewolf starting to take hold, becomes progressively more and more like
Stronger,
capable
yeah.
physically.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he grabs the bars and just like bends them. And I was
Yeah.
like, we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah. We're running out.
I was like, it's getting dark, guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting though. So it's not necessarily. Is the moon like an on and off switch in that movie?
No.
It's only when you're in direct moonlight
Yes.
that it hits.
Correct. The moon has to be exposed. But then when the clouds cover it.
Right.
Same thing with
I go back to being a human.
Yeah, same thing, which is why the brides are able to come out when the clouds cover the sun. There's still light out, but it's not direct sunlight.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So the day's lit up, it's gloomy, like it is.
So let's
today.
say it's cloudy on a full moon.
He's good.
I can go for a stroll without having to worry about killing anyone.
That's how he is able to tell Anna, Belkin, her brother.
Yes.
He transform. He goes. The moon's exposed as she goes, and she's like, "What's that sound?" Boom! The werewolf's trying to kill her. It runs to hide. The moon changes, and then her brother comes out, and he's like, "I don't have much time," because he knows that the clouds are moving.
Why does it run to hide? Why does he run?
I think she shoots him.
Oh, okay.
And then the clouds happen to block the moon. He comes out and he's just like, I don't have much time. He's rushing. Dracula, he has a cure
For the curse.
Correct. And then zoom, and then he starts transforming, and she's like, oh, he's the werewolf.
Right.
And so yeah, because that's when the moon. Same thing with Van Helsing when he's fighting Dracula. He
He
sees the clouds go over, and then he's like, oh, and then zoom, he transforms. He goes back to human.
Yeah.
And then Dracula's trying to kill him, and then boom, comes back and
Right.
So
Yeah, that was why I asked that question, because I wasn't sure if it's like it's like a light switch, like it has to be turned on in order for it to work, or it's like it's kind of like a
it's direct moonlight.
Yeah.
Direct. That's why same thing. They keep it. I mean, it's pretty accurate because
direct moonlight in what sense? Like if I turn a corner of a building and the moonlight's not hitting me, do I go back to being a human?
What?
Because it means direct moonlight.
No. You can't hide in a building. It's not how that works. It's what's hitting the surface of the earth. So the moonlight has to be hitting the surface of the earth.
Right. So if I put up an umbrella,
no.
This section of the earth is not being hit by moonlight.
That's not how that works. I don't know.
It seems a little iffy.
Okay, but I don't know who created it, but I know that the way that it works in overall most fantasies is that it's from an Earth standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if clouds are blocking the moon from coming down onto the land, you're good. The moment those clouds move out and the portion of land that you're on is getting moonlit, no matter the building you're in, you're still gonna be transformed. Same thing for Harry Potter.
For Lupin.
Correct.
My
you
question
remember
is this.
at the end in 3, he's there and she's like, "Look," and the clouds move, and then the moon gets exposed.
So my question is this: do they have to look at the moon, or it's like it's a
No.
full moon tonight and it's not cloudy? The
They happen
second it begins to show on whatever face of the earth that you are
Right.
on,
Yeah.
whether you're in Europe or in the United States or in Antarctica. I mean, because the thing is, the moon does not perfectly revolve around the world. It hits in sections. So
No.
you can technically avoid a full moon
Yeah, dude.
as long as you have like American Express and just can go fly anywhere.
Well, yeah. Okay. We're talking about Victorian time. I mean, you'd have to be running around in human form.
I'm constantly on horseback for a certain time of the month.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. But don't forget
Interesting.
that the curse solidifies after a certain point. You understand?
What do you mean?
Like you're stuck as a werewolf.
When?
In the movie, it describes that the way that one works is that it's pure.
Meaning?
That like so that's why when they're running up to the castle, if you pay attention, she's a piece of fur,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, werewolves don't shed until the beginning of the first phase. After a certain amount of phases, you are stuck as a werewolf. That's why she says there's still a chance to save Velkin.
So after a certain amount of switching back and forth, you're gonna not switch back to human.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of phases. I think it's like phases of the moon. After a certain part of it, after a certain portion, you're stuck.
As a wolf.
Correct. As a werewolf. As werewolf, you're stuck. You can't go back to human form without the cure. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. I've
Which-
never heard about that portion.
Well, that was in the movie. That's in that movie. That doesn't apply to the Harry Potter
Or the,
universe.
just general
Right.
colloquial.
Right. I know
version
that
of
for Van
a
Helsing,
werewolf's
that's how
curse.
they explain it.
Interesting.
So,
So what, you have like a month or a lunar season, more or less, to make it, get a cure and make it happen?
yeah, pretty much.
Wow. So there's no procrastinating.
No. No.
So question, the werewolf that they were trying to catch at the beginning of the film, where he gets infected,
Yeah.
that was one that turned, because it was during the daytime.
Yeah, he was pure, remember?
Yeah.
He was already in.
Yeah.
They were trying to capture him. And that's
Wow.
when he bites the brother.
That part was really cool with the giant cage and everything.
Yeah. Because that's what they do.
Right. Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Yeah.
That being said, let's take a quick break. And we're back. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. So, Van Helsing.
correct.
This movie came out in 2004.
Yes.
Do you think it should be rebooted?
Like remade?
Yes.
Or remade? No. I don't think remade. Continued. No. Honestly, I think it should just be left where it is. I think they did a very good job. If you wanted to... No, not really. There's no continuation.
I feel kind of the same way.
I think they did a very good job cutting it off to where no one could just come and try to pick up and make a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they everything, the ends got tied up very well.
I feel the same way, honestly.
I don't think there's a need. I think if they tried to, they'd ruin it wouldn't
take
ruin
away
the
from the
first
first
one.
film.
No.
Yeah.
It would just fail. The
Right.
second one would fail.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think they just did such a good job wrapping everything up and creating such a good and full story
Yeah.
from start to finish that they really did a good job preventing anyone from trying to just make money and create a second one.
They just made a really good movie.
Yeah, that's really it.
Man, what a foreign concept
Nowadays,
nowadays.
it's
Yeah.
definitely a foreign concept.
So let me ask you a question in relation to, the Universal monsters and everything. Do you think they should do of like the opposite of like the trend that Disney had going, of making a movie first and then an attraction based on it? Do you think that Monsters Unleashed exists now and Universal should make a film based on the story of the ride in Dark Universe.
Like a Monsters Unchained movie?
Right. So
I don't think so.
the storyline of the ride, if they were to cast and make a Universal film based on the storyline that we have now in Dark Universe.
Not really. I don't think it'd be good.
I'd go see it. Personally.
I'd go see it because it's a Universal film to go see
Yeah.
what it's about. Maybe it can be very good. I can't picture how they would do it without there being it's a really high risk, high reward.
Right.
Very high risk for Universal.
With such iconic,
Yeah. You have a chance
licensed
of, you have a
property.
chance of really messing it up.
I think it's either
You know what I mean?
a flop or they strike gold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it could.
I think it should be a one-off. But I'm waiting to go experience the ride for the first time
Right.
to see
I think
how
you're-
I feel about
yeah,
it.
Yeah. I think once we go on it, you know,
Mhm.
you're gonna go way before me.
Yeah.
You're gonna. I don't want any spoils. But when I
No,
do,
I'm not gonna. Yeah.
When I do finally go and check it out, I think then I'll have my answer. But from what I've heard and what I've seen
Yeah.
of what the plot is, I don't know. You know, what you're trying to say is a concept like Pirates of the Caribbean,
Right.
You
Or
know.
Hollywood Tower of Terror. You know,
Yeah.
the
Haunted Mansion.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying, but it's real risky. You know what I mean?
I understand. I get it.
It's really really risky because you could ruin a brand new portion of a park. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. No, I see what you're saying.
So you mess that up even just the slightest bit, and people are gonna be like, "Well, they're gonna rage."
Right, especially given that land is
Yeah,
for like hardcore Universal fans of
exactly.
Universal Monsters.
That is that section of the park is tailored to a very specific crowd.
Of course.
So now you have to meet that very specific crowd's criteria.
Right.
You got to hit each and every point. Versus like Isle of Burke, it's a kids thing. It's super sick.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up watching the movies.
I like that they stay
But-
true to the animated films versus making it completely based on the live action one.
Not really.
What do you mean?
It's still. I mean, that's just how the movie is.
Right, but I'm saying
Even the live action is like that.
I understand, but there are significant differences between the live action aesthetically, right, versus, the Toothless and, the Hiccup that we see that they are shooting for conceptually is the animated one, which is the one that everyone knows.
No,
I think it's a good mix.
it's a good mix, but like, there's no need to mix because the live action didn't.
Stray too much from the animated.
No, it's just like that's why personally, in my personal opinion,
Yeah.
again, this is me and me only.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like the live action version. I think if you're gonna go live action, you gotta dive. I think they played it a little too safe.
Really?
A little too safe. I don't like
rough.
how the dragons are still cartoony. I don't like that.
Right.
I think they should look menacing. I think they look cartoony in the animated because it's animated.
Right.
Hiccup himself looks cartoony. That's the style of
Yeah.
movie it is. But if you're going to go live action, I want to see what the real life version of Toothless would look like. And it's not that. That is not a menacing. He doesn't look menacing whatsoever within the film. And when Hiccup initially meets Toothless, he looks menacing.
Right.
He's scared of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in his world, that's what a scary that's what scary looks like. For us, it's still he just looks like a cartoon with a real person.
Right.
That's I think I don't like that portion of it. I think all the dragons look too cartoony. If you're gonna do the real like live action, full send it. Make the dragons look like a real, like Game of Thrones dragons, a Harry Potter dragon, like that, scary.
Like to the level of like the live action Lion King where it's straight up animals.
Exactly.
Okay, I see what you're
Exactly.
saying.
Imagine if they had done like a live action, desert and terrain, but they're still cartoony animals. That's how I feel
Yeah,
that movie
I see where you're
portrays.
coming from.
You know, the plot of How to Train Your Dragons is already good. There's no need to tweak it. Clearly, it's the same thing like when they redid like Cinderella and stuff.
Right. No, yeah,
There was no need to tweak the plot.
yeah.
You know,
I'm so
nowadays we have to
glad.
tweak it. Nowadays things have to be done to it to change it. It's like for what, dude? It did so good originally for a reason.
Right. I'm so glad in regards to Nintendo and stuff with them when they announced that they were gonna make a Super Mario movie.
Yeah,
Um,
dude, that one everything was stayed
stellar,
cartoon, and it
stellar.
was A1. It
Yeah.
was. It was a good movie.
They did not. They. I mean, it was. I mean,
Yeah, I
clearly
was
there
Toad's
is
Excite.
there is so
Jack
much.
Black.
There is so much
Yeah.
of Nintendo that they haven't even touched
Yeah.
in the first film. It was. I can tell that like when you make a movie based on a franchise that's like so huge like that,
Yeah.
it's difficult to do the first one because what do you put in and what do you keep out for later?
Right.
You don't know. There's so much.
There's no like kind of like guideline. Like
Right.
there's no guide. There's no like
Like,
those
this is
do's and don'ts. It's
first
kind of
this,
yeah.
then this. It's like
It's
no.
first. It's a first on everything.
There's a million references, a million,
yeah.
so much source material that you can go through.
They did so good.
I liked it, and I was worried. I was like,
Yeah.
movie based on a video game. You know,
Would
the
you like to see a Donkey Kong Country?
movie?
Yeah.
Yes, but I would change the voice of Donkey Kong.
What do you mean?
I don't think Seth Rogen is good as Donkey Kong.
Right. Because that's who plays him in the
Yes.
Mario movie. Yeah.
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 I don't like it because it
Yeah.
sounds like Seth Rogen. It doesn't sound.
Yeah.
I can't like with everyone else. Yeah, yeah. I everyone else in that film. So like Keegan Michael Key, I couldn't even tell it was him because it sounds like Toad.
Yeah.
Funny enough, when people were freaking out that you're like, you're gonna have Chris Pratt play Mario, are you serious?
I love Chris Pratt.
I thought it was great. Luigi,
Yeah.
Charlie Day,
Yeah.
hilarious. It sounds like
Yeah.
Luigi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny enough, Bowser
Dude.
barely sounds like Jack Black himself.
Because he's good at changing his voice.
You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
this is fantastic. Taylor doing Princess Peach. She sounds like how I would imagine Princess Peach sounds.
Yeah.
But man, Donkey Kong is just Seth Rogen from the movie Neighbors. I mean, it is what it is. It's, what I mean?
Yeah. Or in recent time, Call of Duty.
Oh, God. Shambles. Straight shambles. I can't wait for October 10th.
That's so funny.
That's when Battlefield comes out. But that's neither here nor there.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
It's video games. Nah, I think the Super Mario movie was really good.
I'm excited for the next one.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna go see it.
Yeah.
Cause first when they first announced it, I was like, I waited it out, and I was like, I'm gonna wait for this to be free.
Fizzle out.
Yeah, for me to be like, and then I'm friends with a lot of people that are hardcore Nintendo fans, huge Mario fans, and they saw it and they were like, no, dude, it's good. Like it's good, it's funny.
Yeah.
It hits the mark, and I was like, okay, man, if you guys say so,
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's been, I don't want to say repopularized, but like, obviously, the Nintendo Switch coming out within our time has sort of like pumped in even more life into Mario in like main
it's
pop
brought
culture.
the nostalgia back for sure,
So,
which is great, dude. I love it.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. I'm Toad's Excite. It'd be funny if I had a Bowser outfit and he just turned to me.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah. No, I mean, so for the movie for Darkmoor, I just think very, very niche. You really got to hit the points. You got to hit them right. But yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't ask for it personally. That's my personal opinion.
Really?
I wouldn't ask for it. No.
I've abstained so much from social media when it comes to Epic Universe that I
Me
don't
too.
even know what the plot for the ride is.
I know, because I've read what it's supposed to be. I
Okay.
don't know how the ride goes, but
Right.
I know the backstory behind it. That's it. Like, what has led you to that point? What has gotten everybody to that point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I don't.
That's
I don't.
all I know. Because I want to know the backstory before I hop on the ride.
I barely have that.
Yeah. I've explained it to you.
I don't remember.
Because either way, you're gonna know when you're going
Right.
in the queue. It's
Yeah.
explained. But yeah. I mean, you have anything else for Van Helsing?
No, I like it a lot. I think it should remain untouched.
Yeah.
I don't think rebooting it, me personally, is a good idea. I don't think so. I think it was done pretty well.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it was executed perfectly.
Yeah. I liked it. I think it's a good Universal film.
Yeah.
I think it's even though it's not non-traditional when it comes to like the Universal monsters, I thought that they did a pretty good job. I liked it.
Yeah, for sure. That being said, it's gonna wrap up this episode. If you guys want to follow us, once again, Universal Bros Unplugged, both TikTok and Instagram. Our personal accounts are on that page. Whether you're listening or watching, thank you for doing both. And catch you guys in the next episode.
See you guys.
Peace.